Vote.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank those members who have made a contribution this evening and also those who are willing to serve on the Select Committee looking at this matter. This is actually quite a different bill to the last one that I moved in this particular council that did indeed get the support of this council. It actually goes to the nub of the matter. It asks whether or not the criminal offences we currently have in our statutes are actually serving a useful purpose, or whether indeed they are actually bad laws. Because I don't think it's the workers in this industry who are bad. I do think it is the laws that fail them and fail us as a society. I note that decriminalisation, since we last debated it in this place, has indeed been embraced by the Labor Northern Territory government. It has also seen a referral by the Victorian Andrews government, led by Fiona Patten MLC, look at decriminalisation in that state of Victoria as well. And indeed the Queensland government, I understand, have made pledges to look at decriminalisation as well. So at least in the Northern Territory, as well as Victoria, we have a lot to learn from their recent law reforms, as well as, of course, New South Wales and New Zealand. The support for decriminalisation by groups such as the World Health Organisation, Amnesty International, UNAIDS, the various reputable international groups against trafficking should not go unnoted. Indeed, I agree with the Honourable Michelle Lensink when she points to consent being the important point here, to cast particularly women, but I do note not all sex workers are women. They are men, they are transgender people, they are gender fluid people, and of course they are women. And not all clients are men. They are women, they are transgender people, they are gender fluid people, and of course they are women. We cannot assume. You were heard in silence, the Honourable Claire Scriven. It would be actually appreciated if you would not heckle everyone that doesn't agree with you. I would hope that this inquiry will look at the laws that we currently have, because I believe they fail. I would hope this inquiry will keep an open mind to have a look at the various models of regulation that are done by police in these jurisdictions and indeed abroad. Mr President, that the issue of money laundering is something that I raised in the second reading contribution to this bill, because at the moment money laundering is used as a quasi-charge related to the sex industry, particularly if people use credit cards as opposed to cash. Literally, credit card use is criminalised under our current operating laws. So if one is concerned about money laundering, one would imagine that law reform would be something that we might seek at the present time. I note that I will be moving the contingent notice of motion in amended form. Indeed, there was a typo, so I draw a member's attention to that it would not be the Emergency Services Act but the Emergency Management Act that is referred to. I also look forward to us hearing the voices of those involved in this industry without judgment and without moralising, but indeed that we hear from clients, that we hear from workers, that we hear from SAPOL, that we heed the advice of jurisdictions that have undertaken law reform in this area, that we have a lot to learn from, and in particular that we get the statistics and the data that we need to have this debate in a way that is actually informed by truth and not by stigma and rumour.
So the question is that this bill be read a second time. Those for that question say aye. Aye. Against say no. I think the ayes have it. Clerk.
Bill for an Act to amend the Criminal Law Consolidation Act 1935 and the Summary Offences Act 1953.